Hey guys, it's Paradise, and today is something super exciting for Monster Hunter fans. A brand new Monster Hunter game has been revealed, something that has been in the works for a long time, but I don't think many people will expect, and maybe will excite people because this one's looking kind of interesting and different. But it is unheard of for us to get reached out to actually do a sponsored video about a new Monster Hunter game. So this is something that directly applies to us, so we want to thank Capcom and Timmy Studio Group because this is just like... This is kind of crazy as a Monster Hunter fan to go through. So of course, 26 is going to be joining us today. We have a bunch of details. We have a bunch of notes and different things to go through because there's a lot of specifics in this game that are both similar to old Monster Hunter games and then new elements added on top that just kind of like super crazy to talk about. So it's going to be interesting to go through, right?
Oh, definitely. We've written down some notes about the studio, about the overall game and stuff, so let's go through those. But if you guys don't know about Studio Timmy, they're a pretty big studio because they've made some of the biggest mobile games out there at the moment. The game, we actually made a video on it in 2022 when it was first announced, and it's gone like dark since. But now we've got brand new information, and we found out that the game was actually in development like 2 years before that in 2020, where they pitched it to Capcom, and they're like big Monster Hunter fans in general. And now they're revealing all that information now, which is pretty cool and exciting. Capcom have actually said that they love Timmy Studios and the work that they're doing on mobile, and they're like a really competent like mobile game studio. So if we're getting a mobile game, this is probably one of the studios we would want making it. And it's exciting to see like the Monster Hunter franchise kind of branching out into brand new like avenues and genres, because we know like the potential of the Monster Hunter franchise is like huge if it does go into different things. There's so much that you can actually do with it, so it's exciting to see what they can actually do. But Paradise, tell me a bit more about the gameplay and what the game's actually saying.
That's just it. Like, you hear mobile game and you think like, well, how are they going to make that work? And for me, it needs to have these core pillars of what makes Monster Hunter Monster Hunter. So the core pillars for me are the weapons, the hunting, and the environments. And if it has those three elements and executes well, then to me that feels like a good Monster Hunter game. So that's what's intriguing about this, because there's a few extra things sprinkled on top of that here. So the game is like a big, seamless, vast environment world with different terrains. So we got what we know of is sandy, foresty, and swampy areas. And again, these are seamlessly connected on mobile, which is kind of crazy. But the actual like getting materials, crafting gear, hunting monsters is still in there as well. And that is like, again, like the most important thing for me, the actual gameplay aspect. There's going to be weapons, of course, and there's going to be unique abilities on those weapons, which has me like super intrigued. And it's all about learning the monster's behavior, as it always is in Monster Hunter games. But there's also this element of base building on top of that as well, which is kind of crazy for a Monster Hunter game. But I'm also a big survival game fan. I love building my bases. When me and 26 play those survival games, it usually ends up being me that is actually doing the building of the base, and I just make some horrific big block. But it's usually I like to make it functional, you know, function over form. And it looks like from what we've seen with the base building, you can like snap different like tiles together, walls, roofs, little fences and stuff like that. So it's looking really interesting and different, and there's not a lot of details on how that plays into things, but it's definitely got me intrigued. But in terms of the actual like gameplay features, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, we know that it's going to have like the same traditional loop of like accepting quests, going to hunt like large monsters out in the wild, and completing those quests and upgrading your gear. So you're definitely going to be able to do that. But we know a bit about the monsters and the weapons and stuff like that. There's going to be some exciting information for people, right? Because it's something that we've been waiting for ages. Like, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, this is one of the big points that will add to the history of Monster Hunter. There's going to be new weapons, supposedly. So we've seen in the trailer there's like this little monkey companion, which looks really cool. We know palicos are still in there as well. And of course, there's returning monsters and weapons. So far we've seen the long sword, the dual blades, the light bow gun, and even the bow. And interestingly, which we'll go through the trailers soon, there's actually some different armor sets for monsters that aren't shown in it, which kind of gives us an idea of further monsters that will be in there as well. So for any Monster Hunter veterans that know what the armor sets are, you can actually glean a bit more detail into this as well. So, but there's these two experiences, as they're called them in the notes that we've got for what they're aiming for. So there's going to be free exploration, which, as we know in the more recent Monster Hunter games, you've got these big maps, you go around, you gather, you look around the area. But there's also the cooperative hunting element, because you can team up with people and take on these challenging, powerful monsters. And again, in the trailers, we're seeing these like mutated variants of monsters that we already know, which I think are like harder versions of them. Obviously, we need a bit more detail on that, but it looks like they're the kind of monsters that you want to team up with friends in. But Monster Hunter has always been this game where people play it in different ways. Some people love to play it solo, some people love to play it in groups. Like me and 2-6, we love to hunt together, but we know many of you guys like to play solo. And 2-6, this game is meant to have both of these, right?
Yeah, it's been confirmed that the game will still have like solo main storyline that you can actually do, and you can go out and explore the open world by yourself if you want to do that. So for all the solo hunters out there, you're catered for. But for people like me and Paradise that like to play together and be in multiplayer, you also have that option as well. So it will be like a multiplayer game where you can explore other players' islands, and you can go out adventure in the world and like build teams and go and have all that fun multiplayer social aspect that we have like expected from Monster Hunter. And the communication tools are going to be there as well, so you're going to be able to communicate with the people out in your world. So exciting times ahead in terms of like multiplayer on the go with this game, basically.
Yeah, there's also some like interesting things to do with the actual hunters in the game. This is something that I'm still learning about. Like, we don't have a lot of details on it, but unlike the hunters in previous titles, in this one we have Outlanders that are like distinct characters that are meant to be roaming the world, exploring and hunting monsters, and they tie into the story because the game does also have a story that is linked with these combat companions. So it's looking super intriguing, and I love that Monster Hunter is pushing the story aspect of things in the recent games, which is again a bigger way to get people into Monster Hunter, which hopefully means bigger and better things for Monster Hunter in the future. They also say that there's an emphasis on co-op play and the combat companions, and this is the interesting bit, as well as incorporating your construction skills to expand your survival capabilities in the vast open world, which again goes back to that base building system, which like it's just crazy to me that that's in there, and I just love the look of it as a survival fan. But I really want to learn more about how it works and everything. But we do have a trailer to go through and a bit of a dev talk, which I think they expand on some of these different points. So we can jump into that. Do note the game is also like obviously in development. It's not being released yet, so I think there's going to be some optimization and stuff that will happen. So this is sort of an early look at it, right?
Yeah, this is definitely an additive experience to the Monster Hunter franchise as a whole. It's going to be crazy to think that you could go out, build a little base with your buddies, and then maybe like an Anjanath or something comes along and eats your lawn. You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy experience that I never thought I would be saying for Monster Hunter, but it's going to be exciting to find out exactly what the developers have in store for us. But let's watch through the trailer and see what is happening here.
CGI to begin with.
Yeah.
That's the monkey I was talking about, by the way.
Is it a Monster Hunter game without the Rathalos armor and the long sword on the back? And Rathian.
I do like the
logo.
There
it is. Yeah, Monster Hunter Outlanders. There it is.
Just in case it wasn't obvious, it's mobile.
They love putting it in the little boxes, like.
We got the big glider as well, which is really interesting to see. Swimming as well. Interesting.
We had like Giratina. We've seen a cute few monsters. We had Anjanath as well back there. Full on sliding. The wedge beetles are back.
The hook slinger. Yeah. We got the desert area.
Just straight up climbing the wall as well.
The catapult into the glider. This has me intrigued. Like, I want to get my actual hands on this game and try it. It really has me intrigued. But here you can see like a bit of the map as well. So there's like these different regions.
Huge.
It looks interesting. We do have the dev talk as well to go through as well. The models 2.6. I have like half of those models.
Monster Hunter Outlanders 的制作人房东。今天我们特别邀请了 Capcom 公司负责本产品的制作人沙野先生，和我一起向大家分享产品的信息。
コウさん、ご紹介ありがとうございます。皆様こんにちは。株式会社カプコンのプロデューサー砂野です。本日はどうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
其实我自己和我们团队大部分人都是怪物猎人系列的粉丝。恰好我们天美工作室群在移动端游戏的研发。
Yeah, this is what we was talking about in the video about the partnership between like Capcom and Studio Timmy. You can see one of the producers working with them like directly as well, which is interesting.
所以在几年前，我们正式向 Capcom 发出了合作邀请，很高兴后来获得了对方的积极回应，于是就促成了本次合作。
I just want to point out real quick, you can actually see like all of this like Monster Hunter art books and the different models on the table. They are
Concept art in the background as well.
yeah, so there's obviously this focus of them actually being Monster Hunter fans, which from the notes and the research that we've got, it does look like it's that way, and I think that's going to be the core to any game actually being like authentic to the series. So I'm kind of hopeful in that regard with it, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
我们非常希望通过这次的合作，向全球的怪物猎人系列用户提供随时随地且稳定的联机体验，同时还希望让不熟悉怪物猎人系列的用户通过这款产品开启自己的狩猎之旅。
The Monster Hunter plushes.
約4年前ですね
I know, we
長い
get
ゲー
some
ム開発の経験を
punchies.
持ちで特にモバイル端末において多くの実績をお持ちのティミスタジオの皆さんからモンスターハンターシリーズへの熱意あふれるご提案をいただきました。これまでのモンスターハンター作品にはないティミスタジオの強みを生かした独自の要素を盛り込んだモンスターハンターの新しいモバイルタイトルにするためのエキサイティングなアイデアがそこにはありましたので、この度のパートナーシップを通じてカプコンとしても世界中の皆様に新たなモンスターハンターの体験をお届けできることを楽しみにしています。
Monster Hunter Outlanders 是天美和 Capcom 共同制作的全新怪物猎人系列产品。
That was Gyarados,
本
right?
作将以开放世界为
So
主，
actually, you know what? We can just quickly go back a sec because that was Geratados, but also look in the tree on the left because it's a Toby
是
Kadachi
天美
as
和
well.
Capcom 共同制作的
Tree
全
on the
新
left.
怪物猎人系
Ready?
列产品。
You see it up there?
Hey!
讲述新角色和共同伙伴的狩猎冒险之旅。
So these are the companions that we're seeing.
我
We
们
saw
在
like the
尽
little
可能
bird
保
and
留
we
怪物猎
saw.
人系列核心战斗
little
体验的
monkey
同
boy
时，也充分基于
Oh,
移
look at
动端的
the gameplay,
优化了
guys.
游戏的方方
Yeah,
面面。
actual
下
gameplay.
面
Obviously
就由
still
我
in
来为大
development,
家
but
一一说明。
it looks like it's very similar to actual Monster Hunter games with the gameplay, the
本
bits
次
that
的
they're
狩猎
showing.
舞台发生
The
在
gameplay looks very much like
森林
World as well, like
沼
in
泽
terms of like
沙漠
the
等
style
多
that
种
they're
不
going
同地貌
for.
构成的大世界中，玩家们不仅需要在不同的环境中挑战怪物，
Yeah, they're showing off
还
some
要
of the
应对
areas,
不
little
同的环
foresty
境
area.
所带来的
Little
各种
Anjanath
危
doing
险
his.
Yeah, no
除
great
了常见的大世界玩法，
Jagras.
我们还为大家准备了例如建
This is the
造
base
There it is.
building. Like, look how crazy this is. And
相关
you
内
can
容
build this
我们
like
将在
zip
未来
line thing
逐
as
一
well.
为
I
大
don't
家
know.
介绍
Like, it looks wild.
They got me. They got me. They got me with this one. I just want to play it just to see how like it is.
大家可能已经注意到，在 CG 和实
It's
际
the
的展示
important
中
stuff, the
有一群
actual
陌生
hunting.
的新面孔出现了。在本作中，玩家还能操作其他的全新角色进行狩猎和冒
So
险。
this is about
Oh,
the
these-
like unique characters. So we actually get to see like two of them here. I actually think the character designs look really cool. So I am really intrigued, and the actual weapon designs on them as well are looking pretty unique too.
和技能招式，
Look at his
期待
gun
这
lance.
些
Like,
能带给
Look at
玩家
this
们
guy.
更多的战斗乐趣。
busted. Oh no, it's just a lance. This is a straight lance. That is a thick
除
lance.
了熟悉的 animal 之外，还有一些新的小伙伴
There's。the Palago with our
没
new
错
little. So look,
他
we've
们
got
就
this
是
like
本作
bird
中加入的
companion
全
as
新
well.
战宠。
Yeah.
相信它能给玩
What
家
like what was?
带来
Hold
更
up,
多
like, what was that? Just go back real quick.
全新战
like-
斗
A mega cannon.
相信它能给玩家带来更为丰富的战斗资
I
源
don't
和
like
情感
obviously
陪伴
nothing confirmed yet as well, but
关于本作特有的角色和
maybe
战
there's
斗系
like
统，
prowler
大家
mode.
继
You
续
can see
关
here
注
like the
后续
bird
的信
looked
息
like
发
it was
布。
being
モ
controlled.
ンスターハンターアウトランダーズでは本作独自のプレイ体験をお届けする一方で
It's funny
もちろん
seeing, like,
従来
all
の
the
モンスターハンター
companions.
シ
The
リーズで
developers are
使わ
like,
れた要素も登場します
can we have companions? Capcom was like, yes. Like,
So Paolumo armor, Odegaran armor,
Yeah.
like Yana armor.
Yana.
So that's some really interesting like things to think about.
I know people will just be happy for just to have the Odegaran armor in it as well. And you can see little dodge dancing there, the blade dancing.
Look at that little discerning dodge or something.
Yeah, design and dodge, dodge bolt, whatever.
The monsters as well. This is what it's about.
モンスターハンターアウトランダーズではモンスターハンターシリーズの新たなスピンオフ作品として多くの
A
モンスターも登
multitude
場
of
します
monsters.
どのようなモンスターが登場するのか、そしてそ
Plethora
のモンスターたちにモバイル端末で仲間と
Puke
一緒に
Puke,
どう狩りに行ける
Aroth,
のか、
Rathian.
今後の情
We
報
saw
を
Diablos.
楽しみにお
We've
待ちいただけれ
seen
ばと思い
Legiana,
ます。
Odegaran, Paldumo armor.
经验
Something
丰
big
富的
in
老
the
猎
sky
人
in the
们发
cinematic.
现了，在刚才的片段中出现了
Wow,
类似剑火
juice
的怪物
Raffian.
在本作中， 受到全新环境的
Says
影
the
响，
Rathians has been
经典怪物
mutated and become more
会发生
ferocious
变
due to
异。
certain
Yeah.
environmental
同
conditions.
时
So
也有
like,
只
that's
属
what
于
I'm really
这个
intrigued
全
about.
新
Like
舞
that must
台
be
的
some kind of
神
end
秘
game
怪物
monster
登
or
场。
tougher version.
所有的这一切就期待各位玩家朋友们来
They
亲自
know how
探索。
to get us in, don't they? Even just like that Rathian looks cool. Look at all the fire coming out of the mouth. Like I like it. I
以
like it a
上
lot.
就是本产品 Monster Hunter
And the
Outlanders
Vigor Wasps in the
与
background
大
of the
家
gameplay
的
as
首
well,
次
which
见
is
面。
interesting.
Yeah.
后续我们将逐步公开更多产品的相关信息，请大家继续关注我们。
改めまして、今回ティミスタジオさんとのパートナーシップについて2020年の発表ぶりとなりますが、ティミスタジオさんが培われてきたモバイルゲーム開発のノウハウを生かした本作ならではのゲーム体験を盛り込んだ
It's crazy that they just went dark for a while, came back with a game that looks like cool, which is rare. Normally you just hear about the development all, like all the way through and you get like little things, but they literally just came out of nowhere with a game that looks like super fun. There it is, mobile soon.
That little gameplay montage just at the end there was kind of the best like bit out of all of it, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
that just actually looks crazy here in this little montage. So that is Monster Hunter Outlanders. It's a pretty crazy like just thing that it exists, to be fair. So it's something that we're definitely excited about, and we will be doing some more videos coming on it soon. We'll round up all the details and the information that we have. So stay tuned for that. Stay locked in below. Other than that, I think we're done here, right?
Yeah, that's it. If you're a Monster Hunter fan at the moment, you are definitely eating as well. You've got so much like choice, so this is exciting, as I said before, addition to what we have available to us. So yeah,
Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you're subscribed down below for more updates on this and more Monster Hunter coming very, very soon.
bye bye.